It's the Mina's House Podcast, episode 135. I'm Mina, say what? Podcasting from my house.
I'm Shayna B.
Podcasting from her house. Garnett.
Oh, I was letting Dex have it. I'm Garnett Briscoe. I'm podcasting from the house too. I'm live from my kitchen. I'm here.
With the haircut.
Yes. Because the last time y'all saw me, I was like this.
Rough. And you got better lighting this time. Let me find out.
I'm out here upgrading, man.
I see.
That's that unemployment check.
That's that extra $600.
Yes.
Yo, you stupid.
Dexter podcasting from my house as well. For some reason, terrible lighting today, but I'm going to get it together.
So Dexter's popular. He has to leave us in the middle of the podcast. So he's just going to dip out at some point, okay?
Damn,
It's
bro.
popping.
So they locking things down again, y'all. You see
Good.
what's happening? Dexter said good.
Because remember,
Yes.
I told y'all, like, I don't like it. It's too soon. Like, why are we moving so fast? And then this past weekend, we went to a restaurant that we normally go to do the takeout stuff. They had people in there, no mask, sitting down in the restaurant eating. It was really like a regular Saturday because people were sitting, like, in the waiting area next to each other with no mask or anything. I'm like, we're not out of this. So then I was happy when we came out of the weekend and it was, look, we got to shut everything down again. I do have a pet peeve, though. There's one organization, a gym that I use. Actually, I don't use it, but I pay for a membership for the gym. They charged me today. They've been open for 3 days. And I looked at my thing this morning, and they charged me. You guys haven't even been open for a full week, and you're charging me? That's crazy.
I
And
actually check mine.
You're in Philly, right?
Yeah.
That's why. In Jersey, they haven't opened up gyms yet.
You
But
were
I
open
thought-
for 3 days. Give me
What?
my money back. They were open for 3 days. I want my money back.
But they're not supposed to be open right now, right?
They were allowed to.
Yeah, I think they were allowed to start it Monday. Yeah, Monday.
In Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now the governor has said, that if Philly's numbers, don't continue to decline because they know there's going to be real numbers, that all of the things like the gyms and stuff that we got in the green phase, he will phase them back.
By the way, Shayna, do you want to share why we don't see you today?
So I did go out this past weekend. We talked about the COVID police before. I went out this past weekend to 2 different barbecues, but I wore my mask. But again, as the doctor told me, it doesn't really matter if I'm wearing mine and other people aren't wearing theirs.
Right.
And it was funny. The first barbecue, my mom said nobody has a mask and not too many people are social distancing. So I thought I was doing my part, but somehow I wake up Sunday and I'm like horribly sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to get tested for COVID. Again, the doctors really don't think that it's COVID. I had a fever for just a day. It was low. It passed. But the age that we live in because COVID has like literally 90 symptoms. You sneeze, it could be COVID. You break a nail, it could be COVID. So better to be safe than sorry. I am getting tested for COVID tomorrow.
I just want to point out that sneezing is not a symptom.
I'm just saying, if you really Google it, like I had to Google it before I called the doctor.
It's coughing.
So many symptoms.
The other day I looked and they said if your nails are growing, that's a symptom of COVID. You really got
Shut up. You're a liar. Wait, did you hear about the blue toes?
No way.
Yeah.
If you get blue toes, they're seeing it in kids mostly. The kids get the toes.
You might actually.
What do you mean blue
might not be
toes?
COVID, but you got a problem.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, if your toes is going blue, that sound major.
That's fungus.
Right.
My feet already ugly, so it don't matter. It's not gonna make a difference in the look.
Garnett, you look like a bad bitch today. Let me find out.
Today, yeah, I'm like this all the time. This is
It's the haircut. It's the
This
haircut.
is my life. See, this is like 2 weeks old too. I gotta get a shape up this week.
Yo, a shape up could change a whole man's.
It can change it, right? It changes their whole life.
It's really equivalent to how y'all feel about your eyebrows being done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Because I got my eyebrows done, and it looked like I had makeup on my face looked different. Like, oh dang,
Me
Like,
too.
you.
And I got my nails done. Ah!
I did get my nails done. I did get my nails and my feet done.
But I was paranoid at the nail place because there was way too many people up in that nail place. I thought they were supposed to be opening like 50%, 70%. Like, they not opening 50%.
You thought they were going to do that?
Yes.
You thought
They want all that money.
Money in their hand. Like, oh, we're not going to let you in because we got half the place is filled. No, they were like, come in, just don't tell nobody.
Right.
And
I was going to say, my advantage is, and Mina, you know this, so you're going to have to go to my nail girl. She has always been, it's by appointment only, and she has a full salon in her house. So she's always been that you're the only person in there. So she did close, obviously, like during the height when everything was supposed to be closed, just to be responsible. But she only schedules one person at a time. Everything gets wiped down. She starts wiping down before you're about to leave. So at least in that, that respect, I'm really lucky there.
I think I got to go to her because I was paranoid at the nail place. And then not only that, but I know it's been 3 months that I haven't done my toes. But for the first time ever, they pulled out the drill to do. No, it's bad. I've seen them pull the drill out on other women, but I'm like, is he pulling out the drill for me? Because
they're working.
Right, you get that dead skin on the bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
They got to pull out the drill to get. I was like, oh my God, he pulled out the drill to do my toes. This is bad.
Yeah, that actually might be bad.
All right, let's get into what's in our feed. Ooh, a big, big situation right now being talked about. August Alsina and Jada Pinkett Smith. There's been rumors for years that they've been dealing with each other. He released a song that people thought were about Jada. And now we've confirmed that this song was actually about Jada because he's saying he's had a whole relationship with her for years, like a loving relationship. And he said that Will Smith gave the blessing because they had moved from a marriage to a life partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been speculated something was going on with that marriage.
Right. Well, let's say this. The Will Smith and Jada's publicists have come out saying that that's not true. But do we all believe that it's not true? I don't know.
So
I don't believe that it's not true. I personally know August. August would not lie about this.
Well, you think Will and Jada would lie about it?
Well, yes.
It's weird. Yesterday, I love commenting on the Shade Room post. It's like one of my favorite things.
I love seeing your comments on the Shade Room post. Let me just tell you that.
First of all, and I remember when they tried to come get you, Dexter, and you
No, I'm a glutton for punishment because
you wasn't gonna comment no more, and now you back.
He is, and they always are on point and funny. But go ahead.
Yesterday, I wrote. I said we've heard about the Jada and Austin stuff, but I want to hear more about who Will was smashing while all this was going. And they gave me a list of people. There was this one, I think she's Spanish, like model. I forgot her name. That they said Rosa or something. They said her. They said
Rosa Acosta.
No, not her. I wish.
Oh.
Well, I wish for him. No, not her. It was another guy. I have to look. They said her. They said Margot Robbie. They said Charlize Theron.
I heard the Charlize
Wayne Martin. They just threw like all types of names there, and every person they threw out there, there's like proof. There's like pictures of him on vacation with these people, and Jada. The one girl they said it was when he was in Egypt. This girl was in Egypt with him, and like Will would have this picture of him kissing, making the kiss face towards like a pyramid. The girl has the same picture on her page, and people were putting all that stuff together. Like, look, they were together. But the plot twist was Jada follows this girl too. So it's just like, what are y'all doing over there?
Yeah, I was gonna say because at one time I know the one person on the list too. What was her name? The girl he was in Hitch with. Oh, Eva Mendes.
Eva Mendes. Yes, they said her too.
Yeah, but I heard that wasn't okay. That almost broke them.
That's what I'm saying. I think that, and I could be wrong, but Will has a certain image. Not so much Jada, but I think Will has an image that he has to uphold, and I don't think that is in line with his image, this open marriage thing. And because I don't understand why in today's world you would want to keep that a secret. I mean, and then I think the bigger issue is the fact that she's like 49 and he's 27. Like, what do you want? What could you possibly want with a 27-year-old kid? I mean, he's a man, but she's old enough to be his mama.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say.
What do you think, Garnett?
Mama can have fun too. She can have a little bit of fun. She can, she could date a little bit younger.
That's her son's friend.
I mean, are they friends?
I don't think they are friends. They became friends.
Yeah,
that's how he met her.
At a concert, but that don't mean they were friends. He could have just been like, "Oh, I dig his music."
Right.
My understanding is that he met Jada through
Yes, he was at a concert for Jaden and Willow were performing.
Right.
And they were because they done pulled all the tapes where she does tell that part of the story about how they met, and of course they have pictures of them at that concert. And she's saying that August came to her and said he needed help. And they did have a deep relationship, but it was more just emotionally based. That's what she says.
Well,
that's
not what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe. I just know if somebody is saying these things, it has to be some he doesn't seem like he doesn't do interviews like that. He doesn't do a lot of press. He hasn't even been on the scene musically a lot because of his health. But now that he's coming out, like he seemed heartbroken during that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like the truth is somewhere in the middle of it. Like it could have started very much this boy wanting, or young man wanting help in these things and these desires, and emotionally. Because again, I mean, I've talked to married people that sometimes feel like emotional affairs are worse than sexual affairs. Mm-hmm. And then it could have led to all that. Like, so it could be that both of their stories are true, but it, just the way that they're approaching the stories, again, to your point, Mina, from the image that needs to be upheld, that could be the reasoning of, her or Will not want to be very forthcoming about it. But when he said, I could die right now, knowing I gave my all, I'm like, yeah, I don't really think people make that up. Like, you could die right now and you'd be satisfied.
Right. That's how much he loved her. Like, they had a deep situation going, I wanted to ask, I saw a lot of comments about marriage and their marriage being fake or shambles, or is it okay to have a marriage like that? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Because I see a lot of judgment coming towards Will and Jada's union.
I think everybody has their own rules on what's allowed, what's disrespectful, what's respectful. So I wouldn't judge them for that. If that's how they want to handle their marriage, that's on them. God bless you. But as far as, they are immediate, as far as, Will Smith, he does have an image to uphold, I guess. So they got to take that into consideration too, because he's probably not the first person to claim something with Jada at this point. He's just the first to, speak out. Maybe they didn't give him an NDA or something, but maybe he's just the first person to speak out. So in that manner, that's something that they have to deal with. You guys put yourselves out there for this open relationship, and now you are being critiqued for it. But the open relationship itself, if that's what you want to do, so be it. That's your rules. But
I know Will is pissed. Like, you better get him in line. You don't see none of my girls out here acting crazy.
Him, they don't normally release statements. So the fact that it was like a quick releasing a statement on it, I don't think that they're happy. But and I would just say to Garnett's point, an open relationship or marriage would not be for me personally, just based off of my personality type and who I am, because I'd be fighting all the time. But so it's not what works for me. But to be honest, I can't speak on what works for other people. Yeah. And I've never been married for countless years. And sometimes when I hear people talk about just marriage and their feelings that go up and down through marriage, like, I don't know, some people feel like it makes their partnership, as he kind of said, or union, it makes it a little stronger. Some people try to have rules around it. And then there are instances in marriages and relationships where having that openness does break it down, but it really is to each its own. Again, it would not be personally for me, but I can't tell them that that's not what they should do.
I feel the same way. I mean, I think, first of all, you shouldn't be looking at anybody else's marriage as marriage goals, because everybody is different. Our relationships are different. I mean, you saw Solange drop kick Jay-Z in the elevator. Something happened there. So it's like, even the best of them,
Right.
you know,
Right.
these marriages that we look up to, sometimes the dude got to get drop kicked in the elevator. Like, stuff be happening. So it's like, people need to stop, you know, building their relationships based off, first of all, these celebrities, because they live different lives. They have different expectations. They're not sitting in the house every day, you know, like we are 9 to 5, or, you know, they're working, they're jet setting, they're in different parts of the country. Will might be working on a movie for 5 months. Jada's not there. You know, they have different rules, and everybody should run their marriage according to whatever fits their union, you know? And yeah, I mean, that's not for me, you know, but that works for them. And if that works for them, then.
I was going to say, I mean, look, they're one of the longest surviving celebrity couples out there. So, you know, if it works for them, and, you know, and again, you see, even with their children, they are, as two people and as two artists, they are very creative and expressive. And even through the Red Table Talk, and one day they were talking about love, and how Will talked about how, like, you know, when Jada even went through some hard times as being a creative in a marriage with another creative, and how he was almost like forcing her, like, you're going to be happy and you're going to be this. I'm sure that they go through a lot of challenges that they have to find what works perfectly for them. And again, always being in the spotlight.
Yep.
Yeah. Moving on. So Trolls, Tekashi 6ix9ine, Nicki Minaj, #1 song, no radio. Second week, it drops to 34. Now, on my station on Sirius XM, The Heat, we actually started playing the song. So I kind of just wanted to kind of like pick your brains about that, because the conversation is, you know, they went #1 without radio. Like, is radio important? Are people listening to the radio, you know? And even bigger than that is the fact that the song dropped off so quickly. You know, are people checking for it? Do people care? You know, or was it like a hype thing? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's definitely a hype thing. I mean, that's his marketing. That's his thing is, hey, listen, check this out. This is it. And then he moves on to the next one. As far as it being #1, I don't, I know a lot of people. I don't know anybody that, like, I haven't heard that song yet.
I like the song.
I've been living life. I haven't heard it yet. Now, I'm not saying that I know everything, or, like, you know, that means that it shouldn't be #1 or anything like that. I just know when I'm outside enjoying myself around different people, around my company, around my family, around my friends, I never hear that song. So I don't know if the #1 was for maybe purchase streams, or I have no clue. I haven't seen it on any, like, websites as far as, like, on the top playlist or anything like that, but it went #1. So I don't even know how they're judging this. Are they using YouTube? Are they using Instagram?
Yeah.
All right, well then maybe that's the case. But as far as
YouTube numbers, streaming numbers, all of that.
In that case, then you're not going to be radio.
And some, I think Apple Music didn't have the song. Some of the streaming platforms didn't have the song.
So I mean, like, I don't know if it's impressive or not, because one, I'm not well versed as far as 6ix9ine goes, and also I don't know the credentials or criteria that you need in order to count as a stream. Like, if Instagram works, then maybe.
They don't count Instagram.
I don't think they count Instagram.
They do YouTube. They
Just
do
YouTube?
YouTube. And the streaming, downloads, you buy it, all of that. So
yeah, I don't know.
And even if they sell, like, merchandise, like, a lot of them, that's the big conversation.
Yes, the merchandise. Is the big
conversation. It's like, yeah, you don't, just name it that, you don't need radio if you're a big enough artist. The radio stuff is just a bonus.
That's the problem. You know, remember when Trav and Nicki dropped their album, was complaining. That was the big complaint with Trav, is that he sold a bundle. And in the bundle, it was his album, I think
Yep.
a ticket. They got tickets to his
Yeah.
show, and then a shirt. So
Yep.
it's like you get this, all of that for the low deal of whatever, $80, and then it counts towards his sales. So Nicki was pissed at that. But I agree with that. I think there's a problem with these bundles, and I think that it's not even about the music anymore. It's like I will buy the merchandise of the artist that I love, and I just happen to get the song. So you don't really know why people are purchasing that. Are they purchasing that because they actually like the song,
Right.
or they like the album, or are they purchasing it because they want a Nicki Minaj shirt or a Tekashi shirt or whatever? So I think it muddies the waters.
Yeah, and I was going to say, obviously, with him being number one, whether it's streaming or whatever, again, it was a lot of hype around him getting out of jail, and all of this hype and buzz that was around that particular time. So I'm not surprised that it dropped off, because it's just like with anything else. Like, it could be a popular TV show, and that first weekend, everybody's on it, everybody's talking about it. But then as the week goes on, people are falling off. So but I do think that, it's just like, like people were hype, excited. Let me see, let me listen. Oh, wow, Tekashi got, so people were tuned in for that. But, I do think that the world that we're living in, and you've seen a lot of independent artists that, we all talk to and work with, that yes, you do need radio is a compliment a lot of times, but it's not necessarily what you need, to break through on different platforms. And again, whether it is just to sell your merchandise, get put on shows, or whatever the case may be, because social media, and I extend that to the streaming platforms, is really super powerful now.
Right. And then the fan bases, the individual fan bases, and the ability to, directly talk to your fan base. I mean, all that changed the game. So I'm not surprised that he went number one without radio. I mean, it really was a big headline, because typically people do want radio. But, this guy, as much as people hate him, he's doing everything that people said he couldn't do, or thought that he couldn't do, ironically. And it's crazy, because he has another song coming out. And it's just like, he just keeps coming with it. As much as people hate him, he just keeps coming with it. Do you think he's going to be around in 5 years?
Yes.
Really?
You do?
I don't know if that's necessarily music wise. Maybe it's movies. Maybe it's something else.
Okay.
I think he will be a part of this culture, as long as, I guess, he will want to be, as far, because people they can't take their eyes off of him. And at the end of the day, like, the documentary about his life is going to be ridiculous. So, everything that's happening is just like add-ons for that. So, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, I still think he'll be a part of this culture, unless something, drastic happens. But, the kids love him. You can't even be mad.
And he's almost like and I hate to say this, but like an Instagram personality. He's almost like a personality. And you see all these personalities, whether they be YouTubers or Instagram, they really get like leverage and have longevity. And I'm still trying to, like, they'll say people's names, and I'm like, well, what does this person do? Oh, he got a YouTube page. Oh, okay.
Right.
Don't even know.
It's still people, right now that maybe we thought 5 years ago that they wouldn't be here right now. And I'm not gonna say they're less or more talented, but he's a bigger draw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure people thought Tiger wouldn't be here 15 years later, but look,
and killing it.
Wow, that's a great example.
Flourishing, like completely flourishing. You can't stop him.
I was gonna say Rick Ross. Do you remember when that whole thing happened?
Yep.
And it was 50 and Rick Ross, and he was a CO and denied it, and then came out and said yes. So it's like, there's people who have come back from, like, oh, you think they're never gonna come back from this, and they come back.
Mm-hmm.
Meek had to battle, with one of the biggest artists in the world, and he's back better than ever. I'm pretty sure during that time, it was people that counted him out, didn't think he'd come, considered him Ja Rule, something like that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even hear that one.
I always knew Meek was gonna come back from that. I already knew because Meek actually raps.
Right.
The music
So it's
is good.
right. People still defend R. Kelly and he's a creep. Like some people just they don't care personally what's happening with you and they will support you because they like your music. Sadly, but it's real.
It definitely is.
So there's all these virtual events. Literally, everything is like a damn virtual event. The BET Awards is virtual. The Roots Picnic is virtual. In Philly, we have a festival called Wah Wah Welcome America. I'm actually hosting one of the stages for my very first time, but it's a virtual stage. So it's like a lot of stuff has happened. Like I hosted my first commencement for college, Delaware State University, and it was virtual. I'm hosting my first Wah Wah Welcome America, and it's virtual. Like, what do you guys think about all these virtual events? Is it the same? Like, you know, are you over it? Should people just cancel stuff at this point and not do it virtually?
I think some need to be canceled. Some I feel like, you know, graduation and those types of things, that's a rite of passage. And you also pay for that. So I want my graduation. I don't care if it's virtually or not. Like those things I get. But there are some things that as we're watching them or being a part of them, you're just like, it just don't look and feel right at all.
Right.
BET, I'll say, you know, they definitely try to do a good job and made it almost like, you know, a lot of it looked like they were like music videos. But I don't know if y'all noticed this, and I noticed this, and I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it. There were like quite a few artists that I felt like the lip singing was way off. Like I kept looking like, well, what is going on? Because this song is doing this, and your mouth look like it's closed right now, but you're supposed to have your mouth open. Like, and it was I actually stopped watching after a while because that part was driving me crazy. Like, I'm like, I can't look and your mouth is doing something different than this track in the back is doing. So it's just certain things like that I feel like are misplaced and feel a little weird, but you know, I don't know. I want a lot of like virtual like workshops and everything, and some of them they can do away with. I'm sorry.
Amanda Seales, at one point, I was like, is she mic'd up? Like, is that the camera audio? Like, what is happening?
Virtual stuff is just hard to get into, man, because we didn't grow up like that. Like we came with the connections. Mina said, she waited. Yeah.
Hey, Bo.
We saw her. Yeah, but like it's, you know, we're used to the intimacy, the connection between people. So this change is just, it's always going to feel weird for us, no matter what.
Right.
The younger generation can get used to it quicker than we can, and I think that's where the, you know, people that are having events, they're trying to accommodate them. But yeah, it's just the whole change. I'm not sure if they should stop it or not, because we can get used to that next year. Next year, maybe it won't seem so weird. But right now, in the moment, everything is just moving. You can see the effort between people, you know, like BET, they want to still, you know, continue their show. Roots Picnic, they still wanted to, you know, continue their show and push through, because we're all in this weird space right now. So it's just trial and error.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that's just my only thing is just, especially for these artists, just maybe y'all teach them some classes on lip syncing and just get used to it, because I'm like, y'all should be used to it anyway.
It was
because
that
a lot
bad?
of these shows, and I don't even want to say the one artist name because I really actually. So Roddy Ricch, it was a couple times.
I knew it.
I was like, what? It was messing me up so bad.
I noticed it too.
And the thing was, his set was super long, and he kept doing it through it. I was like, wait, what is going on? Because you're like off from where your track is. And then that's when I started thinking like, but y'all should just be used to it anyway. Because a lot of times when you do live shows, you're doing it to a track anyway. Sometimes, again, you know, you're coming in and out of the track. But just, that's my thing, is if you're going to do it, let's just, again, that was tape. So I feel like you had enough time to be like, you know what, let's actually do a couple more takes. Yeah. So that's just my only thing with that is, in that instance, it's not like it was a live virtual event where it's like you couldn't fix things on the fly. Right. Again, another artist that I love deeply, I just, you know, she was just very pitchy and very off. I didn't know she wanted us to feel her raw emotion at the time. I just was like, what key are you in? as you're singing this song. So it was just like a couple weird things like that. Alicia Keys, and I love her.
Yeah, I shut off during that time
because it got real all over the place for a minute.
I was in my phone, like it was on, but I just wasn't paying attention.
I was like, do she want us to feel like I was so raw and emotional I couldn't be on key? Like I didn't know.
Now, was it the actual artist, or do you think it was the broadcast, like when we watched the verses or anything?
No, it was the artist, because they all pre-taped in different ways. Like Meg Thee Stallion had like a whole hers I really liked. It was like all because again, like a lot.
It was a music video. Hers was like a music video.
Yeah, she did like a Mad Max thing, and it was like a music video. Mm-hmm. So and that's why I feel like maybe some of them didn't think about how creative they could have been with the set. Again, everybody's budget is different, because Alicia's like background and everything, it was just dark, like I don't know what it was, like a warehouse or something. But again, it was just like, did y'all listen to these audio before you submitted it?
Well, that's what I thought was really interesting, how they literally all got the same assignment, right? And the assignment is you have to perform at the BET Awards. And you saw how different people carried out the assignment, like Roddy Ricch is playing the piano, but not really. Like in this white room, like, and
like ain't even touching them keys.
And then he had the televisions in the background with fans, I guess, or his boys, I don't know. So like to simulate a crowd, and then you have Megan doing a whole music video, and then I thought Chloe and Haley were really good, because they literally did like 2 separate videos. And in one video, they're dressed in all white, and the other one, they're dressed in all black. And then the editing was so fire. The editing made it seem like they were going back and forth between the black and white. Like,
right.
It was just really interesting to see everybody get the same homework assignment. And some people got an A, and some people got a D and an F.
Completely different outcomes.
Exactly. It's funny. I had to host the Wow Wow Welcome America, and it's virtual, so I had to pre-tape. Mm-hmm. And it was so hard for me to get into that mentally. Like and the reason why I'm saying this is because we are, kind of judging as the viewers, but me in a small way, I've been on the other side of that, where I've had to produce something. It's going to get cut up and put into this virtual event. And I will say I had to tape it twice, because it's one thing when you're hosting a concert and you're on the stage and you have the energy, and like, it's different. Like you're in a different element. It's easy it's not easy. It took me years, of training, but it's easy for me to be in a setting where it's live and there's, 5, 10,000, 20,000 people. I'm not
off of.
Right. But it was hard staring into the camera and then having these guidelines and this script and these bullet points that I got to hit, because believe it or not, when you're hosting a concert, it might seem like the person's just riffing off their head, which sometimes they are. But most of the times you have things that you have to say, bullet points you have to hit. Like, most of the time they tell you, hey, we need you to tease this, or this is the sponsor, or whatever. I really struggled with it, like doing it in the camera without that live, that live feeling. Mm-hmm. So I recorded it and then I did it again because I didn't like how it looked the first time. So it took me a while to get it. And then the second take, I went into it mentally different. I prepared different. I had to really adjust, my style, but it was hard. And if you wait to the last minute, if I would have waited to the last minute to record my video, they would have just had to roll with the crap that I sent them the first time, but because we did it early, I got a chance to really reassess and redo it so I get it right. But it is hard to kind of perform into this box. This camera, it's empty. There's no one there. There's no one feeding you. You know what I'm saying?
Now, is that experience more like, is it just as awkward or weird as like holding up your phone and like talking,
It's different. I don't know why. It could very well be a mental thing.
I was going to say, you're probably picturing you've been to this this performance or to this event before, and you know
Right.
the energy, you're picturing that while you're trying to like deliver that.
Right, exactly. So, you know, when you're in your camera, you can be as chill or as cool or as laid back, but like you think I'm hosting a concert. So I go into it thinking, okay, I'm hosting a concert, high level, I'm excited. You gotta be energy, you know, oh my God. You know, so it's like normally that comes easy to me, but I don't know why I just struggled with it. And I got it done. It looks awesome, you know, but I had to do it twice.
It also could be, I think, even speaking on the BT performance and stuff, we've been away from that for so long.
Right.
Everybody's probably a little rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I was going to say, now I've seen some platforms, and again, it's different because you're consuming it in your phone, but like, you know, TikTok, they've been kind of doing concerts and stuff like that, which is weird because they did one week with D Nice, and I was so confused because he was on live and I thought it was the same feed. Then I'm like, wait a minute, he got two totally different things on. What in the world is going on? But they did one for like small businesses, and it almost reminded me of like a telethon. Because the way the host kind of came on, like in between the artists, like, all right, now we're going to ask you to donate, da-da-da-da-da. So I think because, again, then I was consuming it in my phone, it didn't feel as, that one felt like a little, it just flowed better to me.
Right, but even with a telethon, there's people behind you, there's the phones, there's ambiance, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy when you got a picture, I'm performing, I'm hosting a concert, and I'm by myself in a room, just me and the camera.
Trying
to
be lit,
you know,
loud, trying to be and
right. But not only that, but then I have a script,
right,
you know,
to read off of.
Right. So I sympathize with the artist a little bit because it might be a little difficult at this point. And you can't, if you're really following the rules, you can't have a lot of people in that room with you. It's just you and the camera person.
Right.
So
well, that's what was funny. And that TikTok, I know one of my friends, and he performed with Lauryn Hill, and she did have her, like, I guess she just feels like if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it, you
right.
know, right. So, but they were like all where they normally rehearse, and they were spread out, and it was kind of cool the way the camera person did the angles, because it was almost like they were shaped in a rectangle, so everybody was spread out enough in between, and you know, just like the drums, the keys, the singers, so it kind of worked well.
All right, real quickly before we get into our topic, I want to talk about Jadakiss and Fabulous. I loved it. I love Jadakiss in general. Yeah. I've just always loved him. For me, he's top 5 even before he put out that album. But what were your thoughts on that? Like,
I'm actually going to apologize to Jadakiss and his entire fan base.
You thought Fab was gonna sweep him?
I thought it was gonna be a wash. Definitely.
What? You better put some respect on Jadakiss' name.
Well, I'm not saying that he doesn't have good records or incredible records. I just thought Fab had bigger and better records that people will be able to like just attach onto, like latch onto. But for what I was hearing, because I couldn't watch, I was recording that night. But for what I was hearing is that, man, Jada, he was playing stuff that people forgot he was even on. He has 50 verses, which is like, you know, I'm just thinking about, like, how the hell did he end up on Throwback with Usher? I don't even know if that was played, but like that's like a huge song. That's one of my favorite Usher songs, and like he's on it. So I'm pretty sure he has 10, 15 of those. But I also heard that Fab wasn't playing all of the music that people, I guess, wanted.
Right, but I think what people forget is Fab is a feature on a lot of this music. So I think what they were trying to do is just keep it to their records.
Their songs, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So Jadakiss has The Locks, which is his records, and you know, he has, The Kiss of Death alone, that album is amazing. So it's like, I think that's what the discrepancy was, because afterwards the DJ started to play songs that they didn't get to because it's only 20 songs. And Fab's DJ was killing it. Like, and people were like, why he ain't play this? Why he ain't play that? Because he's a feature on the song. So it's like you have to think about really songs that are his songs. And when you talk about songs that are just their songs, Jadakiss blew him out of the water, definitely.
Yeah, so I just want to apologize. Congratulations, Jada. Congratulations to his fan base. But definitely shout out to Fab, man. Maybe next time he'll get him.
Yeah, so I had to say, because I was really sick on Monday, so I didn't really watch it. But obviously, I was like tuning in and out. And then when I woke up, because I was confused, and then when I woke up, and then I saw all the Jadakiss memes.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. And I love both of them, but I love Jada. Period. You know, he is him and Allen Iverson are really close. And, you know, even like that whole, when he did the Reebok commercial and that song, and he just always, every time I've just been around him, just how he is, just his spirit, like he's just like a good dude.
He has good energy, definitely.
Yeah.
Every time I've been around him, he has good energy.
Like he make you feel like you know him all your life. You're like, I just met you like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I think even more than that, people really need to respect his lyrical ability, because I think people forgot the kind of bars that he delivers. Like they're literally like bars that will kill you, you know. And I think that's what was happening. Like Fab was playing love songs, which we love Fab for, but you know, I mean, Breathe is definitely
that day,
right? Like you going up against Al Qaeda, Jada, bruh. Like you better bring the records where you try to kill people. Like
wrong game plan. So
yeah, but I think Jadakiss really prepared for this, and I don't think Fab really prepared for this. And I could be wrong, but Jada literally was like, I did too much homework for this. So Jada came in with a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Fab was letting the DJ play. He was like, play whatever you want. Play whatever you want.
Too cool for school. That's why.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm actually happy that I'm pretty sure I said this when we talked about verses before, but I'm happy that people are getting a chance to get their flowers while they're still here. So to have one of those moments, you know, to see Jada dancing, it like that's a good moment for the culture. That's a good moment for Fabulous too. The DJs, everybody that's a part of the verses, like it's a good thing. So and it's virtual. It's virtual. That's something that we had to get used to. But
this is true.
This is true. It's dope.
That's true. We had to get through it a lot with our first one. We had to get through. We had to get through some games.
I do think the versus thing is fading off, though. I think that, you know, and maybe it might come back because people, it looks like the way it's headed, they're starting to shut things down, and we might have to revert back to lockdown. I was
going to say, yeah, people outside. That's why you're not getting as many views as we were before.
I don't think it's going to completely go away, though. I don't know if that's what you meant by it. I feel like, of course, you know, outside open back up, the numbers are going to go down. But I think they built that up enough, and that it is that interesting, and it is that good, and it is that live, that's still going to be something that when the world does open up, you know, the expectations on the numbers will go down, but it'll be there. And I feel like that's something they can take on tour. They can do a lot of things with that to build that up.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? You know, the Smack DVDs where they used to literally battle rap. I feel like this is battle rapping in a different way, like with hits.
Yep.
We've never seen people battle rap with hits. I mean,
one time, Drake and Wayne. That's only because they had the tour.
Right, but even before Drake and Wayne, it was Wayne and T-Pain. The T-Wayne tour. They were the first people I ever saw go back and forth and do that. T-Pain and Wayne. And then I went to that. I went to both of those tours. I went to the T-Wayne tour, and then I went to the Drake and Lil Wayne tour, which that was fire. I saw Swiss do it with Timbaland live at Summer Jam. So there's something here where it's like this is a battle. This is a rap battle. It really is. Right. And it really comes down to strategy. It's not even who got the fly, you know, like who got the best songs or who's a better rapper or the better producer. I mean, even when you look at the Jonte Austin and
Neo, right?
Neo battle, Like, nobody saw Jonte Austin beating Neo. Like, Neo got hits on hits on hits, but
yeah,
you know, he gave him a run for his money because he had that surprise element. You know.
Speaking of which, did you see what Juicy J proposed?
What?
He wants to go up against Dr. Dre.
Okay, he need to sit down. Move on. You know what? I did see that, but it was so foolish that I just kept it moving.
I think he
Shut up, bruh. Don't say it no mind.
No, he's probably holding on to a bunch of sneaky stuff that he's been a part of that
no.
we don't know.
That's disrespectful to Dr. Dre.
I'm sorry, it definitely is.
Showcase it against somebody like Dr. Dre.
No, man,
like,
that's disrespectful. Like, he need to get slapped for that. Like,
dang, gonna slap
that's super disrespectful. Like, this is Dr. Dre you're talking about. You put him up against Diddy or a 50
right.
Cent.
People were like, people started being like,
Jay-Z.
You need to come down off of your high. We're gonna give you a list of who you could go up against.
Like, he's smoking too much, bruh. All right, real quickly, our topic for today is about dating during COVID, because it seems to be very prevalent in my life right now. People asking me, and how are we dating? Are we dating? I mean, I think prior to COVID, there was a situation where people were being very loose and very open and sharing. And there was this very fluid dating culture that people had, very old, you know, just you know, switching people in and out. They have top 5 lineups. I mean,
yo, you're set up for this is hilarious.
I'm just saying, like, and now, you know, you can't do that because you don't know, you know, who someone's been around, or, you know, so how are people dating? I mean, I don't even know how, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm definitely not an expert in this subject because I couldn't tell you, but I do think that for people who are single and are trying to actively find, if you were actively trying to find somebody to date at the beginning of the quarantine, I know a lot of non-single people were like, well, it'd be easy to get to know somebody because now, you know, y'all in lockdown, you have nothing to do but talk to them. But for some reason, I found it a little bit more difficult for some reason.
Me
like,
too.
I felt myself being like really more irritated than I normally were if I felt like, because I do think that's some of it, like, well, why are you not communicating or texting, or this should be a time. So it like kind of helped me cut people off a little faster. Like, yeah, no, I'm just going to pass. I don't have time. But then the thing is, like you said, and you're pointing out, and again, we learn all these things about COVID. And, you know, one of the things we talked about on this pod was how they say COVID can now last in men's semen. So it's like, as you talk about going dating, moving forward, I don't, you know, for men, maybe they don't care. But I think, you know, it is going just to be a little bit of a difference as we move forward.
Yeah, it has to be rough. I mean, like you said, you just laid out all the rules and everything of COVID. But I mean, it's still, the internet still exists. Like this is all that we have. I know a lot of people don't like to slide in the DMs, but like this is it. I mean, you can set up. We got a Zoom meeting, podcast call. You set up a Zoom date. Like it's just it's a weird time, like I said, but we have to at least try to make something out of it. So, you know, maybe, you know, join in different online dating sites, or you just do the old-fashioned way and ask a friend if they got somebody for you.
Well, the reason why I wanted to ask, because this is something that I feel like keeps popping up in my life, you know, especially like the first 2 months I was in here by myself. So when the corona started, I was talking to somebody, but that person's no longer around. So it's like, I think it really depends on how you date, or how you, like, what your strategy is. Like, my strategy is nothing.
I wasn't expecting to hear that.
I wasn't either. I thought she was about to say something else.
Right. My strategy is nothing.
You just wait for people to come to me, you know? And I don't pursue people.
That's pretty woman privilege right there, you know?
I do understand what you're saying though. I think again, just the way dating has been, we become accustomed to a certain thing. And I'm not saying like, you know, and I talked about it, I've been on dating apps and different things, but even that, like, I'm over it. Like, I'm over it.
Well, yeah, I've never been on a dating app, and being in quarantine got me out here trying to sign up for one, because the way that I date is I wait for people to come to me, which means that they're interested in me, and then I go from there, you know? I don't really know how to do it the right way, like I feel uncomfortable doing it. I'm like, I feel like I have to know the person likes me before I even make a move, you know, or say something. So it's like, that's how I've always been. I've always just waited for people to come to me. So it's like, no one's coming to me right now. I had one guy ask me to bring him food, and I was like, no.
So I do want to say this, which that was a good thing you said about nobody's coming to me. So that was my one question was, so where did all the singles guys go all of a sudden? Or were you never really single? You know what I mean? Because like, where y'all go? Y'all would still be single and out
here.
We
went to church. What do you mean? We went to... You mean church?
So coronavirus hit, and all of a sudden y'all got one with the Lord, and y'all not around no more. Oh, okay.
Yo, my friend's husband asked me. He was like, "Mina, how do you normally meet guys?" And I'm like, "It's such a I literally can go. It's such a variation of where I meet guys, but it's always socially. Like, I'm walking out of the Roots picnic. I'm at a diner." You know, I met a guy at a Young Dolph show. You know, like, don't judge me.
Love is everywhere, baby. It's everywhere. Even at a Young Dolph show.
Right. So it's like, he was nice. He invited me over to his section, you know. He bought me drinks. He walked me to my car. He was a nice guy.
Look at Young Dolph.
Yes.
Oh, man. Young Dolph having some gentlemen at his conference.
So it's like, I literally had to think, like, there's no one specific way I meet a man. Like, they just come to me in different ways. So now that I'm in the house, I'm like not meeting men. The most I've gotten is somebody asking me to come bring them food. I'm like, what do I look like?
See, look, you gotta go to Home Depot.
I've been to Home Depot.
Or keep going. Target and Walmart.
I was about to say, they definitely not in Home Depot right now. All that's in Home Depot is the people already bunned up to get in their house together because they girl that said we need new cabinets.
Okay, all right. So now I'm looking at it from maybe my point of view. There's a lot of women in there that's doing shopping by themselves.
True.
Yeah,
and it's like, ooh,
But that's what I'm saying. How do you date in COVID? That's why I wanted to ask, because we have to change it up. Like, and then even if you see somebody cute in the Home Depot, we gotta stay 6 feet apart. I might not talk to you if I'm judging you based on the mask you wearing. Are you wearing a cloth mask? Are you wearing an N95 mask? Like, that shows me the level of commitment that you have to your safety here.
I was just about to say that. So have y'all been out anywhere, and it could be the supermarket, and this definitely has happened to me a couple times, where I feel like I've had small hit-ons with the mask, and I'm like, yo, that's kind of like sexy, because you do know what I look like, but you don't know what I look like, and you kind of still hitting on me through the mask. So I kind of like that.
I could have busted teeth. I could have 3 teeth hanging right here. You would not know. But look, now that you're saying that, I might have to go. So when I go to these places, I'm looking bummy, like trash, right? First of all, because I was at the Home Depot and someone recognized me, which was super weird to me. Like, I'm at the Home Depot, bro. He literally DM'd me, like, I see you at the Home Depot. I'm like...
Oh yeah, no, wait, that was actually creepy. Because just say hi, don't DM me.
Yep.
Right. So, but But now I might have to I'm glad we had this conversation because I might have to go to these places looking like I'm ready to get a man because I go looking busted. Seriously, because I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm just trying to shop. But yeah, I mean, and then I tried to sign up for a dating site and they rejected me. So they were like, no. And then I don't know how else, you know, and then I was DMing with a friend and then he was like, oh, you need to get yourself a man. And I was like, I don't get the man. They come and get me. And he's like, well, that's why you single right now. So I went ahead and thought about it and I'm like, damn, is that it? So I actually tried it. I was like, you know what? Let me invite somebody for a socially distant dinner. And the person just hasn't even like responded. So it's like, now I'm outside my comfort zone. I'm doing things I don't normally do. Like, and it's not working.
Yeah, see, 2020, we just got to chalk up. This is the year. It's the year for self-love. Like, this is it. Like, we shouldn't even be focusing on dating her. If you have it, cool. If you don't, it's just weird times because of exactly what you're saying.
Well, this is why I'm focused on it, because normally I'm not focused on it. That's something that I realized in quarantine. I really don't give a crap about relationships. And I really realized that, you know, I cut people off very fast. You know, I've realized that I've never really cared. I care about people, but I don't care about having a relationship. You know, when I think about my goals in life, my goals are always work oriented, not relationship oriented. So I've realized that during quarantine. So it's like, okay, there's not really much work stuff I can do right now to advance my career. It's kind of like you're just staying afloat at this point, right? So it's like now I'm actually starting to focus on dating because it's never been a priority. And like, what am I? And then if they put us down on lockdown again,
if they put us down on lockdown again,
and I ain't got no penis, like,
Oh, man.
listen, it is bad out here. Like, no, we
You're
can't
not even like doubling back, like you're not like recycling people.
Nah, I don't like doing that.
I was gonna say now I can't speak to that extent, but
once they go on, they go on, boo.
Listen, we got some needs, and you know, there's some people. Something's broke, you go get it fixed. So,
no,
you know.
I'd rather be lonely as hell in the bed.
But there's only certain ones you can
double back
get to come and do the job. That is
no,
very true.
I'm not doing that. I'm not playing house during the quarantine.
It ain't even playing house. They just coming in to fix the sink and then they out.
I don't feel comfortable with that. That's not. I don't really like that.
Not sanitary.
I don't know. I don't like that.
As long as you wear your mask, we good.
I don't know who else. I don't know who else's sink you fixing.
Probably nobody, because
I don't like that.
right.
Like, it's just one of them.
No,
you just gotta be open and honest. Like, hey, listen, I need my sink fixed.
Listen, but I don't want to fall into old patterns and old habits with people that I've identified I can't have futures with because of quarantine. Because I'm sitting in the house by myself. Like, I don't want to do that. We gotta progress in the quarantine, okay? We gotta level up. We can't be going back to them old things. Like,
you are. Well, I'm looking at remodeling the kitchen. You know, just sometimes I just need a little patchwork.
Right.
So y'all telling me to get a F buddy?
No,
write it out. This is your dating advice. This is your dating advice.
We just letting you know that's another option.
It's an option. It's out there.
I would like to be in a meaningful relationship where we can do quarantine things together. Okay.
After COVID. Right now, it's not even worth it. It ain't worth it right now. It's not. It's not like nothing new is going to be. You probably want to get sick and tired of them real easy because y'all got to be together during quarantine. So like 2 weeks is going to feel like 4 years. You don't need that stress. You flourishing. Your edges is laid too. It's new opportunities outside. The summer's here. What happened to hot girl all summer? Like
Titties
what
is
happened?
popping.
Hot girl
Yeah,
all
see, look,
summer.
your
COVID
titties
said we
sitting
taking
right
over.
now. It's come on, man.
Sitting. Look at that.
You don't need all that stress, that extra. Nah, it's all right, you know.
It would be nice. That's all I'm
It'd
saying.
be awesome. It'd be awesome.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. You just basically told me to go get us friends with benefits.
Listen.
And I try to find an actual man that can add meaning to my life in quarantine.
They not adding no meaning right now.
They out of meaning.
Single dudes. And
they're out
looking
of
to
meaning.
function too, but they not looking for a relationship during quarantine.
Yes. Why? You would think this is the time.
Nah.
Why are people looking for relationships in quarantine? This is the perfect time to be in a relationship.
Because it's too much in such a short amount of time. It's like, that's all, like, you can't do anything. Like, you don't have an excuse not to call and talk.
Exactly.
Like, people ain't with that right now. So, right now.
Well, on that note, thank you for the useless advice. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching the 135th episode of the Mina's House podcast. We are on YouTube.
Yes.
Watch
come
us.
on now with these fireworks.
Oh, wow. That was a firework?
Yes.
Y'all didn't hear anything like in my background? Y'all ain't hear that?
No.
They've been going on since about 4 p.m.
I bought fireworks.
See, look, you part of the problem.
You part of the problem.
First of all,
part of the problem.
First of all, I bought the little sparklers.
Oh,
okay. Well, that's different.
They only going pew.
Yeah, that ain't.
They not bomb. See, y'all judging me.
Listen, man, I hate these goddamn fireworks. Say that.
Every night.
All right. Well, y'all go handle your fireworks. Thank you for watching. It's the 135th episode of the Mina's House podcast.
Yeah. He said you about to go fix the sink.
Bruh. You know, I had to put up my old shelves. That's another thing. I need a man to come in here and put some work into this house. Because they're not letting nobody come inside people's homes. They're not delivering nothing inside your home. Like, there's none of that happening because of COVID. I need somebody to come up here and put some work in. I had to put up my own shelves. Who does that?
Yeah, I don't think the sink fixer gonna put them shelves up either. So.
I need to find me one that can put the shelf up.
He
might. That's true. He might.
He might have to make him a sandwich after he fixed the sink. he might do that. He might do that for you.
Bye, y'all. I mean to say what?
I'm Shayna B.
Out of here.
Who are you, Garnett?
I thought I said it. Sherlock Homeboy Garnett.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Watching.